What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. Happy Thanksgiving. The market is closed today, and we have a half day tomorrow, but we do have a good video for everyone today. We're going to keep it quick and to the point, but we're going to be covering some of the most important news in the market right now and some great plays to watch for tomorrow. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe and let us know what stocks you are watching in the comments down below. But Tom, let's get right into it.
Yeah, definitely. There was a few big stocks that moved yesterday, and we could see AMD had a pretty nice day, moving up pretty well. Tilray, which is the marijuana stock, ended up doing pretty decently, along with CGC. So the marijuana sector did decent, but overall, it was nice to see some of these growth stocks do well. We actually had DraftKings come up in the green, close up 1.5%, which is awesome. They've been getting beaten down a lot lately. You saw PLUG go up as well. BABA even had a nice green day. So in the end, a lot of these growth stocks that have been getting hurt this week ended up going up, and it was a pretty nice move yesterday, considering that a lot of people expected it to be pretty slow heading into today, being Thanksgiving, of course. So obviously the market did pretty well. I will say the SPY itself closed green and had a pretty good close.
Exactly. So I would say the growth stocks moving really was like the star of the show yesterday. Like you said, DraftKings was up, BABA was up, even Palantir had a nice day, which is pretty good to see because they've been looking pretty tough lately. So it's finally good to see some green, especially right before Thanksgiving. So that's awesome to see. Hopefully we see this continued momentum, one tomorrow, but also next week. So that's awesome, Tom. But I also heard some news about, I guess you could say, the Fed minutes meeting. What happened there?
Yeah, the Fed's minutes from their November FOMC meeting actually showed that members are concerned about inflation, and they're actually willing to tighten policy sooner than people had expected. And the meeting summary noted that officials will be willing to raise interest rates sooner than the participants currently expected, which is great to see. I think that that's going to be great whenever they start raising rates. We're going to see the market react pretty it will react pretty crazy to that. Whether it goes up or down, nobody knows yet. But in the end, it should end up affecting a lot of these plays like TLT, HYG, and different stocks like that. And I feel like TLT is going to start going crazy whenever they start raising these rates. So definitely keep your eyes on some of these stocks, Mike. I feel like some of these ETFs might start moving pretty largely over the next couple of months. And I just almost can't wait for the next FOMC meeting, because I feel like they're going to talk about a lot of stuff. And with them talking about raising rates sooner than expected, that's honestly, a lot of people keep saying, the Fed's they're going to wait a while before they raise rates, maybe the middle or end of next year. But it sounds like it's going to come pretty soon now.
Yeah, like you said, Tom, these ETFs are going to be the securities to watch, TLT probably being the main one. I remember when the Feds initially lowered interest rates like a year or two ago, TLT just made some crazy moves to the upside. And TLT is one of those ETFs where, you might look at the chart and say, oh, it only moved, let's say $5 or $10 in the past couple months. But the thing is, the options market, a $5 or $10 move on TLT is like 1,000% move on the options. So, it's definitely one to watch out for. If they do decide to raise rates, TLT should fall. So, but keep in mind, like I guess you could say, like the interest rate and bond market is pretty complex, but either way, it's definitely a big catalyst to keep on the radar. And then, Tom, what other major news do we have for the market right now?
There actually is some pretty crazy stuff coming out of Europe right now. I know that there's a lot of stuff going on in the German government. There's a new government coming in, taking over Angela Merkel's government. Everyone's been reporting on that lately. But the crazy thing is that Germany's death toll for COVID actually just passed 100,000. And apparently their new government is actually resisting the lockdown that the old government's trying to impose right now. And, Germany's been having lots of new COVID cases with over 75,000 new infections over the past 24 hours, which is quite a bit. And, the crazy thing about this is that the new government's actually not going to be doing the lockdowns because they feel like the public is actually going to perceive this as the old government doing some bad tricks, in their own words. So it's very interesting to read some of these articles about this. But the worrisome thing to me is that if we do see some of these European countries start to, impose these lockdowns and stuff, it's going to be pretty bad. And I think the US might start to really look at doing it as well if we see a bunch of other countries do it. Like, obviously, their COVID cases are getting worse. I've seen some articles about Fauci and stuff like that saying that our COVID cases are getting a little bit worse over here as well. So it's just something to think about, because obviously COVID affected the market a ton over the past couple of years. And, if we go into another lockdown, that would obviously be some pretty bad news. But, hopefully we don't do that.
Exactly. So good info there, Tom. And let's get right into the momentum plays for tomorrow. With the first momentum play, we have PENN to the upside.
Yep. And with Penn Gaming, it's actually a pretty big double top right here. Go ahead and make them break out above $54.
All right. And then we have UPS to the downside.
Yeah, UPS got smacked the other day. Go ahead and make them fall below 208.
All right. And then we have RUN also to the downside.
Yep. Go ahead and make RUN fall below 48.50.
Sounds good. So we are watching PENN to the upside for a potential day trade tomorrow, but only if it breaks above the level Tom listed. And then we are watching UPS and RUN for a potential day trade to the downside tomorrow, only if it breaks below the level Tom listed. And then we also want to shout out our member of the day really quickly. Huge shout out to Mac187. Thanks for being a great active member of the Stocked Up Discord chat. We really appreciate you being in the chat. So thank you so much, Mac187. Let's go right to these comments from the previous video. We have Free Indeed 7 saying, hey, I'm drowning in Netflix. Any hope next week? So I'm looking at Netflix chart, and I know it had a bad past couple of days, but it's actually really close to its all-time high. So I'm not sure how you're drowning in it, to be honest. But if you're holding shares, it should be fine for the long term, as long as it should be fine for the long term either way. But for a short term play, as long as it stays above the 650 support, it should be good. If you're holding options, that could be a different story though.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm definitely going to be eyeing up that 650 support as well. Like Mike said, it hasn't fallen too much yet. It did have a bad last week though. So hopefully it holds on this support and ends up going up. It looks like we did actually bounce there on Thursday in the middle of the week. So definitely keep an eye on it. I feel like Netflix could end up maybe coming back up, but in the end, they did just make that all-time high. And one thing that they also did was they hit a pretty big psychological level, being $700 even. So maybe they'll go on a downtrend for a couple of weeks, but definitely keep it on the radar. If it holds at 650, it could be pretty good.
All right. And we have Krishna asking about BKNG for the short term. So let's take a look. BKNG. This one has been definitely been pulling back quite a bit. I feel like it's decent for a quick dip buy play, but honestly, I don't see it heading back up to 2,600 anytime soon. I could see maybe a pop back up to 2,450 or so.
Yeah, I could too. It looks pretty good. It is on support again, kind of like the other stock, and hopefully it ends up getting back up. But it has been on a pretty bad downtrend here for the past couple of weeks. And Mike, that was almost 10 red days in a row almost. I could see a little bit of a pop up soon.
Yeah, I'm with you for sure. I might sell a put on this one. I don't know. We'll see what happens. And then with the next comment, we have Daniel asking about PayPal and if it's a buy now. So Tom, PayPal's actually at a decent level. I know it's been getting destroyed over the past couple of months. I don't know. I'm really considering maybe averaging into this play or maybe selling some puts on it.
Yeah, I am too, actually. It's actually I've actually had it on the radar for the past few weeks, and it just keeps falling below every support that it seems that it makes. And, there is a big one that it just made around 184, 185. So hopefully we end up holding that and going back. And I feel like if we sell some puts, if we could somehow get the 175 strike or even the 150 strike, that's pretty far away. But I feel like that's going to be pretty safe if you end up getting those shares. I feel like those are some pretty good prices. And honestly, even just buying shares at this price of 188 or 190 isn't too bad to me either. And, I really like this support here right at 185. I feel like this might end up holding up. But, like I said, over the past few weeks, we just keep breaking these supports. So hopefully one of these ends up holding up eventually.
There we go. So if you guys like our content, make sure to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day. And if you guys let us know what stocks you're watching and you leave a comment down below, we'll probably cover them in the next video. But with that being said, Tom, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or anything for tomorrow?
Yeah, one thing I still want to kind of look at right now is kind of the gold and the metals market. Gold is actually on a pretty big pullback here. We were talking about it a little bit last week, Mike, and it looked like it started to have a pretty nice breakout there up above this trend line. And it looks like it's pulling back pretty hard right now as the market was doing pretty decent. So I'm definitely going to be eyeing up gold with all this talk about inflation, possibly rates going up, even like lockdowns in other countries. I feel like gold and some of these metals have been consolidating down here for a long time. We might finally get to, get a nice breakout pretty soon. So I'm definitely going to keep my eyes on the metals market. I feel like it's going to be pretty important over the next few months with inflation and, everything going on with rates.
There we go. Well, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. We hope you have an amazing Thanksgiving. Don't forget the market will be a half day tomorrow, so keep that in mind. And let's have a great end of the week. If you guys have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. Other than that, thanks for watching.